A couple of months ago, I was in a different place. I had moved out of my parents' house and gotten a full-time job, but I wasn't doing so well. I felt insignificant in this huge rat race that I had just entered. I didn't fully understand who I was or how I belonged in this huge world that we live in. The big word for this little viewpoint is called existentialism. It means one views the world as so vast and so big with so many people in it that you feel like you can't help but be insignificant. Life's too random to have meaning. Out of this place of desperation, I felt a sense of panic. Like I needed to live my life and I needed to live it really quickly. I needed to have great adventures and do stuff with it because I felt like I wasn't getting a lot out of life. So when this mission trip came up, when this 6-month opportunity came up, I felt like I needed to do it. I could get out, I could travel, I could meet new people, I could have a lot of fun, and I could see if God is as good as I've been told He is. When people ask me how my trip went, I freeze. I don't know how to answer that. So much had happened on this trip and I don't know how to summarize it without just saying it was a good trip. What had happened to me was deeply personal. I had years of walls built up. I was cynical and jaded. I felt like all the bad things that happened to me, I could reason why they happened and I could explain away the significance of those things. If I could understand something, I could have a power over it. If I could explain why something was the way it was, I felt like I could control my circumstances just a little bit, and that's all I could get, so that's what I held on to. The first 3 months of the program is called the lecture phase. It's where they bring in speakers from all around the world. They bring in incredible missionaries and people who write books, people who are far smarter than I am. These speakers, these missionaries, these people who just love Jesus with everything they have, they just dumped all their knowledge and their wisdom and their stories, their challenging stories, their funny stories. For 3 months, we got all of this wisdom unloaded onto us. It was a lot to take in. At first I had good days and I had bad days, and it was sort of a fight. It was a struggle. The conflict was faith. I was being asked to believe in something that couldn't be fully proven. And I didn't know how to wrap my head around that. The opponent I was wrestling was my pride. I felt like I needed to understand everything. I needed to know all to really fully understand something. If I couldn't fully understand God, if I couldn't totally prove that He existed or His goodness or anything about Him, I couldn't have any power over Him. And when I realized I was making it an issue about myself, about my pride, about me understanding something, then I could put that away. When I was in the Philippines, I saw incredible things. I saw God move in incredible ways. I saw things that I never thought would be possible happen to people that I was praying for. And then I realized it wasn't possible. It was God. It became abundantly clear God was doing something, and He was doing something incredible. It was far beyond my understanding, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I didn't need to understand something. I just felt excited to be part of it. When I got back to America, I was completely exhausted, down to my core. I was sick, I was broke, I had no idea what I was doing with my life. But at that moment, I felt a complete peace. I felt at ease with life for the first time in a very long time. The facts are all the same. We're still living on this giant rock floating through space with 7 billion people in it, but for the first time, I don't feel insignificant. So if you ask me how my trip went and I froze, it's because I changed. It's because God gave me eternal life, and it started the day I decided to accept it. And that's why I'm going back to lead a team. I want to give other people the same opportunities I've had. I want other people to perform miracles they never thought were possible and then realize that those weren't possible. Those miracles weren't even from them. I want these people to know who they really belong to and how valuable that makes them. I want them to have a hard time answering a simple question.